Hey, Casey, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Kaitlyn. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm so excited to have you sitting down with me today. Not only is this our first June fireside chat, but it's also your first fireside chat with us, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right, right.
And this is for all our readers and followers, this is the famous best-selling Casey Nash.
Huh. Woo! Yeah.
So I we have a lot we can talk about because wow, you do a lot. You work full time, you're writing numerous series, numerous co-writes. Why don't we just start out by telling us a little bit about how you started writing, how you got in touch with DSP. I know you've been with us for a while.
Yeah.
And we'll start
Yeah.
there.
Okay. Well, I think it was back in 2014 that I actually wrote my first novel. I had written for a lot of magazines, some leadership topics and that kind of thing, but I'd always kind of toyed with the idea of doing a novel, but just didn't have the guts, I guess, to start it, or had a lot of mental barriers, I guess. And so when I got over that, it was kind of neat. I wrote my first book 2014, and I think I got about 90% finished with it before I told my wife I'd even written one.
Wow.
She read it because I'm, like a lot of writers, you wonder, well, how are people going to read this and take it? And she read it and bawled and squalled, and she's been my cheerleader ever since, and a great critique. She's very good in English, so she went through it and helped me with it and made it better. And so that was my first series, Miracle at Collar Spring Ranch. And I think there's like six books in that series. And then a couple of years later, actually a little bit longer than that, I got connected with DSP and Nick, and that for me was sort of the missing link of an online presence. I did a lot of book signings and I did well, but I could only do so many of those. So when Nick became my publicist and then DSP my publisher, that's when my writing really took off.
That's
And so,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So we've been full tilt ever since.
Yeah, I mean, even in what is Jubal Stone? How many books is in the Jubal Stone series? How many
Yeah.
books do you have? Can you keep track?
Well, my daughter actually got online recently, and she was looking, I think, at Goodreads and all, and she said, "Dad, you have 40 books on Amazon." I said, "What?" I kind of had lost count, and because we are writing so fast, and you don't think about that much. So I don't know, the Jubal Stone series. I think I'm on the 22nd one now.
I was gonna say, I think 22, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly, because I think 21 was released. But
yeah.
all right, I have to put you on the spot. How do you juggle? Jubal Stone's not your only series. You mentioned, the other series that you have, and then you have numerous co-writes that you do with other authors, and two big ones currently with Paul L. Thompson, and then another separate series with Ash Lingham. In
Right.
addition to your solos, how do
Yeah.
you manage that? Do you keep a calendar?
Well, I really don't. And sometimes I get a little confused and turned around like, now which book am I writing on? But I'm a multitasker and I love that. I work best when I guess I have a gun to my head, or maybe that's not the best analogy these days. But, when I'm in a tight spot, I seem to really be able to produce. And the co-writes are relatively new. And yet I think I've done probably um, I've written with about six different authors, and a couple of those we've written two books. And now Paul Thompson, who is very well known by many, as a Western writer, but he's been fun to work with, and we're on our fourth co-write now, and we've got two or three more after this one. So he's just kind of a beast when it comes to writing, and he matches me every step, and we just keep each other going like a runaway train. And I also just got finished with a 3-book series with Ash Lingham, Wagon Train,
Yes.
which I really enjoyed that. And Ash is another great writer, in my opinion. And writes really fast. And so those are starting to pick up some steam. But it's kind of like the new series, the Yellowstone 1863, is it? We kind of
1883. I think it's eight. Well, I could be wrong.
Wrote off of that, and so I learned a lot just researching the wagon trains and writing. And so, yeah. And then I do the Jubal Stone solos. I've got one going on it. I've got a brand new series out now called Eutychus Bly Lawman. And it seems to be doing really well. And I'm enjoying that one, and just submitted the second one. So I think it will be live probably next week.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to that as well. And I'm going to put you on the spot again.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite character to write?
Yeah. I've enjoyed each one I've written on because they're so different. I love the Eutychus Bly. He's just a pacifist. He was a farmer and, just victimized over and over and over, and just finally got enough of it. And just to see him develop as a character in the story, and he's trained under Jubal Stone as a lawman, and he's kind of coming into his own now. And he's a Kansas range detective commissioned by the governor. So there's a lot of new twist in that is so different from the Jubal Stone. So right now, I guess it would be Eutychus Bly, but Jubal Stone is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he'll be a classic,
Yeah.
And even in the Paul L. Thompson series, that is Jubal is in those stories, right?
Right. Those are Jubal Stone novels, and the difference being he's in as a co-write, which every co-write I've done, except with the exception of with Ash recently, is fit under the Jubal Stone series.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
The Wagon Train is different from your co-writes because it does not have to do with Jubal Stone.
Right.
How was that for you? Kind of branching out.
Yeah, it was amazing. And like I said, Ash is quite a writer, and he's very fast. And so we just kind of hammered that out. It just kind of like the story wrote itself.
That's awesome.
We left it open where we can come back with some sequels to what we've done. So the story is not finished.
Good.
So we just wanted to kind of see how the readers would respond. And I think a couple of them have been in and out of the top 100 recently. So
yeah, last week book one hit the top 100.
Right. Yeah. So looking forward to seeing what that'll do and keeping that door open with Ash. And then also just to shout out to Nick. Well, he's a master at, I think, finding good combinations and writers. And if there are any writers out there that would watch this and think, what's a co-write? I don't know if for me, it's kind of a breath of fresh air because the whole book's not on you. And you automatically, for instance, with Paul, his Shorty Thompson is a well-known character. And I feel like I know the guy so well now. And he and Jubal just fit like hand in glove. It's been amazing. And so I kind of know his characteristics. So when I'm writing about him, I can further that narrative. And then Paul writes about Jubal. So it's kind of neat seeing another writer write about your character.
I love that. And it's amazing also, not only for the characters, but for the authors as well. Yourself, you're connecting with these other authors from all over the world. I mean, Ash isn't even in the United States,
Right.
So I'm sure that, he's in Spain.
Yeah. That's cool. And then Paul is in New Mexico, up in the mountains somewhere. And but it has been a very positive experience for me, very fulfilling. And like I said, it stimulates you when you're writing with another writer. First of all, your styles are different, and you've got a mesh, but at the same time, our styles are so different. And it's neat that we can kind of work together and produce a novel.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Casey, I'm definitely going to have you back on here because we just have so much that we didn't even touch upon today. But give me a little teaser. What is coming down the pipeline for you? What are you working on?
Well, the Utica Supply, you'll see more solos with that, and then Jubal Stone solos, plus some more co-writes, Jubal Stone co-writes with Paul Thompson, and who knows what's next. I'm
Yeah,
always
I don't want to give too much away. Honestly,
Yeah,
you might find out tomorrow something new.
exactly, and I'll let you know when I know.
All right.
But
Well,
I love that, just kind of the spontaneity of things. You could be off on a new book just like that.
and you're one of those authors that can absolutely do it, and you'll do it fast. I can't keep up with that. I need a calendar.
Yeah.
But all of your series can be found on Amazon. So anybody interested in Utica Supply, Jubal Stone, the co-writes, everything is on Casey Nash's page on Amazon. And we look forward to having you back. Thank you for sitting down with me today. And I'm very excited to see what comes next.
Thank you, Kaitlyn. Enjoy talking with you.
Yes, you too. Always have a great evening.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.